Hello, my name is Domínguez, and my team is the team number 5, which is made by Sebastian Lucatero, Álvaro, Josue, and myself. We're going to talk about the lab project that we made. We hope you enjoy.
I'm going to explain the process of the equation. Okay, well, first we have to put the 5 grams of sodium bicarbonate, that the molar mass of sodium bicarbonate is 84.008, that we have to put it down, and that equals to 1 mole of sodium bicarbonate. Later, we have to put the numbers of the valence equation, that is 1 mole of sodium bicarbonate, that equals to 1 mole of acetic acid. Later, we put down the 1 mole of acetic acid, that equals to 60.052 grams of acetic acid. Later, we have to put the density number of acetic acid, that is 1.05 grams of acetic acid, that equals to 1 milliliter of acetic acid. Later, we put the 5 milliliters down of acetic acid, that equals to 100 milliliters of vinegar, and the result of the equation is 68.079.
Now comes the fun stuff. We're going to actually see if our chemical equation is right by making it come alive. We're going to use some vinegar and some bicarbonate to see if our chemical equation is right and if it's somehow around 69 millimeters, what we really need so that this bicarbonate stops reacting with the vinegar. Let's get to it. So let's begin our experiment by measuring around 69 milliliters of vinegar in a measuring cup. So let's get to it. Now that we've got the 69 milliliters in a measuring cup, we're going to begin by actually measuring our 5 grams of bicarbonate in another small container. So again, let's get to it. Now that we've got our 5 grams and our 69 milliliters of both vinegar and bicarbonate, let's get to the reacting part. So in order to witness whether our experiment is true, we're going to begin by pouring the 5 grams of bicarbonate into a container. Then we are going to slowly add the vinegar. The strategy that I am going to use is I'm going to use the syringe by adding small amounts of it so that it's not all reacts at one time. So we're going to begin by adding 5 millimeters and 5 millimeters to see how it reacts. So let's get to it. Let's start us off with our first 5 millimeters. Let's see if this is actually going to work. So as we can see, with some 5 millimeters, which is not enough to dissolve the entirety of the bicarbonate, it reacts and does some sizzling to the bottle. So this means we obviously going to need a lot more. So let's get going with 10. Alright, so we've got our another 5, which makes up for 10. So let's get to it. We can see that we still got some sizzling going around, which means there's still a lot more to go. This makes 15 millimeters. Let's see how it reacts. So as you can see, we still got some bubbles, so it means a lot more. 20. 25. 30. 35. 40. 45. So in case you haven't noticed, the much more more vinegar we start adding, the less bubbles it starts making. So it means we're making progress. 50. 55. 60. 65. 'We still got some little bit of bubbling. And lastly, the last 4 millimeters. So let's see. And what happens? Well, there's no more sizzling, there's no more bubbles, which in other words means that our equation was right and that we do need somewhere around 69 millimeters so that the vinegar stops the bicarbonate from reacting.
So, in the conclusion, we can say that the equation is fine since the bicarbonate stopped reacting to the 69 milliliters of vinegar, and well, in my opinion, the experiment was very interesting since we thought it was going to make a small explosion all over the table.